Johnson Viking II Amberlin HQ145 receiver. Hi everyone, I'm Francesco Wine, W7LTG. I have the Dow-Key here, and I'm going to show you how to wire this up. This is part 2. Hi. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little more about the Dow-Key and what you need to do with your, let's say, your Hamlin receiver. Most of these have a 7-octave plug or 8. They hook up to the accessory of your receivers. A lot of the Swans have it, a lot of the Hamlins have it, but later they moved on to screw-on terminals. But anyway, the jumper wire is on there already, so I can actually receive all the time. Now I'm going to take that jumper wire off and wire the key relay to these 2 pins. So, and this is going off. This is coming off. The Dow-Key is coming off the Johnson Viking II, and it's definitely unplugged because you don't want to mess around with this crystal socket, which is right here. This crystal socket is dangerous. Wired 120 out of that with 2 loop pins, it can actually short out if you move it out of its chassis. Alright, so let's go ahead and wire up the accessory pin. Connect the Dow-Key to the Johnson Viking II and make sure everything's secure before you plug it in. Okay, we got the Dow-Key hooked up to the Johnson Viking II. I got my wires, my plug, all wired up. You notice I have a ground. Also wired the shorting pin plug for the Amberlin HQ145A, and I had to go number 22 wire over this 18 gauge wire, so I had to heat shrink it. So they're a little hard to get in those pins, so they're in there good. So here's your 8-pin octave. This is a 7-pin octave, and it plugs in back of Amberlin HQ145. So this actually plugs in there. Alright. So I had 2 antennas on here to simulate how it works with the correct open circuit to the Amberlin. You don't want to run pure RF into your receiver or you blow the front end out and you got a big problem. So I was double checked on the first video, and so all now we need to do is hook it all up. Okay, we're back on the Johnson Viking II. The Dow-Key's all wired up, done properly, make sure it's very safe. Even when you move the transmitter, you better check it. Problem with the crystal socket connector, that little crystal that's wired up on 120 volts, it can get loose. So I had to bend the ends a little bit, make a little tighter fit. If it's too loose, you're not going to be able to transmit and not go anywhere with it. If it comes off, you're not transmitting for sure. If it comes out the wrong way, it could short out and blow your circuit breaker. I certainly do have GFI here on this equipment because, man, you want quick. So let's go ahead. I got another radio going here. We'll test the modulation. We'll key up and see how that works. We do have a signal from the oscillator in the back. We're just going to fire it up, turn the volume up. There you go. The receiver turned off, and we're good to go here. As long as you don't put your hands back there or pull around or move anything. I hate that crystal socket. That's one of the worst, dangerous designs ever made. Let's test the audio. W7 Lima Tango Golf. We're modulating pretty good. Let's check, see how many. All right, there we go. 120 milliamps going out on modulation. We're done testing. This is Whiskey 7 Lima Tango Golf. I'm clear. There you go. The Johnson Viking II finished. I am done with this transmitter and receiver. It's a lot of work, and it wasn't perfectly easy putting the Dow-Key in because you have no instructions whatsoever. I had to figure it all out, test it before I don't want to damage anything. I don't want to short anything because that is a very dangerous design. But it is working as long as I don't put my hands back there and move any wires. We're good to go. And there is a ground wire on that crystal socket plug, and I grounded it. And make sure if you don't have a 3-wire ground in the Johnson, make sure you have a ground on there. Gotta have it. You don't want no floating, floating electricity in your system and touch something, you'll get a shock. Touch two different radios, you may get a shock. So we're doing very, very carefully, make sure the safety protocols are done. So we're working, and I thank you very much for listening in on my report on the Dow-Key. I don't think too many people have done this. There's only one person I know who done it, is Terry at D-Lab. And I wanted to do a little more because of the safety and the wiring. It's got to be good. It can't be sloppy. And I do a lot of shielding and stuff, so I make sure that nothing is exposed. Alright, this is Francesco Line, W7LTG, not clear. Back later.